against the #1 seed and defending champion Steffi Graf. This is the second semi-final. The first was won by Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, the #2 seed. She beat Kimiko Dati, seeded 3. Tough match, 2-6, 6-1, 6-2 in the end. Comfortable, but tough for a long while. And of course, this is the first meeting between Steffi Graf and Mary Pierce since the semi-final of the French Open, when Mary produced one of the upsets in recent years, beating Steffi 6-2, 6-2. It's 2-1 to Graf in head-to-heads. They met twice in '93. Steffi won both of those matches. We're going to pick it up towards the middle of the first set. Steffi has a break. She leads 4 games to 1. She broke to lead 2-1, now leads 4-1. So here's Mary Pierce to serve. And that's a good counter. The kind of destructive hitting that she has and that destroyed Steffi at Roland Garros. Yes, it was at 2-1 that Steffi broke to get a 3-1 lead, held her serve. Now is Pierce beginning to come back. Oh, yes. Mary, who of course didn't come to Wimbledon, cited the reason is that she thought her father was going to try and get in touch with her at Wimbledon and didn't want him coming over, and all the hoo-ha that would be involved, although some cynics suggested that her form on grass wasn't going to be that considerable. But this is very much her speed, this court, very slow cement. And Steffi was saying before this match started that this was the kind of surface she would fear Mary on. Similar pace to the clay at Roland Garros. A little lucky, but she deserved the point. Excellent drop shot to bring her in. Mary, a big girl. 1m80, 5'11", but she covers the court remarkably quickly. No titles this year for Mary Pierce, but had a consistent year. That's taken her up to #5 in the ranking, largely thanks to that runner-up spot in the French Open. Runner-up 2 at the tournament earlier this year in Houston. Semi-finalists at Hilton Head. So Steffi now 4-2 up. Steffi, who's won 7 titles this year. The last in San Diego, where she beat Arantxa Sanchez Vicario. very convincingly indeed in the final, 6-2, 6-1. Back on track, although she's not been in her very best form so far this week. Yes, mixing it up well. And delighted with the way she thought out that rally. A couple of moon balls. And that was an excellent drive across court, opening up the court, and a destructive finish too. Pearce moving in, showing Steffi that she was prepared to really attack that second serve, and that's what brought the double fault. Well, unusual to see Steffi move in like that, and you could see there was a moment of indecision. There she is, slicing to move in. It happens on very few occasions, and then just seemed to get her feet stuck in the middle there. And a comfortable pass, and a good one too, so here's an important moment. Mary Pearce poised with a double break point. Well, called out. Steffi doesn't think so. It looked desperately close. But was the call corrected? It was. Yes, right the way the other side, Mary's saying. You're saying you saw it that far out, that far away. And that is a vital overall. Let's have a look at it again. It does look as if it might have been out. Difficult to see because it looks like the line judge might have been unsighted, and that's what the umpire was saying. But what a time to overrule. So 2 break points saved. And it may well have put her off, because that was a simply dreadful shot, and she's nearly dying with embarrassment. So Steffi's been let off the hook here. And has been mighty lucky in the process. So after saving 2 break points. Got a chance now to restore the cushion. Well, she did what she had to do. She got Steffi up there. And Steffi never that comfortable. And a very awkward-looking volley when she was forced to make it. Good stretch here from Mary Pierce. Should have been put away a bit deeper. And Steffi has to make that one last shot, and it tells. And Steffi Graf is definitely wobbling. And here's a chance for Mary again, a third break point, and again the sheer power in the shot rushes Steffi onto the back foot. And the break back here would mean we have one heck of a match on our hands. It's a match that means so much to Steffi too. To banish the memory of that awful defeat, crushing defeat at Roland Garros. Three break points saved. Did well, Steffi, on such an important point. Excellent balance and composure and patience.
Let's go, Steffi!
A lot of support for Steffi, even though this is the birthplace of Mary Pierce. Steffi twice champion here in 1990 and last year when she beat Jennifer Capriati in the final. And the Canadian crowd now really getting into this match. Steffi, the most popular player on the tour, that's for sure, but a lot of home support here for Mary Pierce, even though she's officially now from France. Oh, it's a bad misjudgment, but she says thank you to the heavens. It was a bit of a prayer, to be honest, but it worked. Just crept back in there, and here's a break point again. Break point number 4. And she's got it. Well, this threatened to be one of the most interesting ladies' matches of the year, and that's what it's turning out. Steffi leads 4-3, but we're level on breaks. Welcome back to Montreal. You're watching the second semi-final here in the Canadian Open. Mary Pierce trailing Steffi Graf 3-4 in this first set. Back level on breaks. Of course, it has been a difficult time for Steffi in recent weeks and months. Beaten by Mary in the French Open, then going out in the first round at Wimbledon to Laurie McNeil. She's won 8 matches off the spin since then, but hasn't looked that impressive in doing so. Dropped a couple of sets in San Diego to girls she normally wouldn't. Lisa Raymond and Julie Allard. And she dropped a set earlier on this week in the third round against Naoko Sawamatsu before winning 6-2 in the third. But this is the girl, the one girl on the tour who can out-hit Steffi. Immense power. Steffi working as she never has before. Really feels threatened here. And pulling out all the stops at a critical moment in this match. So 2 break points here for 5-3. The second break of the Pierce serve. And here, for me, the most important point of the match so far. Second break point. Well, it must have been right onto the line. Really bold hitting from the French girl. 2 break points saved. Oh dear. And the worst stroke she played in the rally there, Mary Pierce, brought the error from Steffi, and she seems to have a stomach problem, having played so well in the rally. This miss hit just to half court, and it should have been buried. Whatever the problem was, it seems okay. But a wonderfully constructed rally from Mary Pierce until her final stroke. That's the way it goes. Chance now to level up at 4 each. It's long. Good humour from her. A couple of years ago, she'd be tearing her hair out. Again, very quick. And it must have been very, very close indeed. And looks across for a bit of help. But incredulous. So work still to be done. Awful time to serve her double fault there, and here's a third break point. Having worked so hard to retrieve the situation. Well, what a rally. In the history of women's tennis, I doubt whether you'll have seen many rallies with forehands hit stronger than that from player to player. In the end, it's a backhand battle, but what, 6-8 massive forehands earlier on there. The two most powerful ladies in the world really going at each other. And Steffi, having taken the break, her second break, now serves for the set at 5-3. Well, it's controlled violence now from Mary Pierce. Whereas before it was a wayward talent, now so much discipline. Under the tutelage of Nick Bollettieri and lately from Sven Grunefeld, who's here, one of Bollettieri's Dutch coaches. Bollettieri himself following Boris Becker around and seemingly to great effect these days. But still his effect is very much there with Mary Pierce as well. Well, Steffi winning the battle of forehands there, but she's been outgunned at this stage. The ball is definitely coming back quicker. But a few errors now beginning to creep into Pierce's game. And when she's playing well, that's the advantage she has over Steffi. Not only is her forehand slightly more powerful, she's got two forehands. Steffi's backhand slice, not really an offensive weapon, but that double-hander most certainly is. And you can see how much she needs it and wants it. Here's set point for Steffi Graf. A very fine set indeed. A set of real intensity and crushing power. But in the end, it's Steffi Graf who stays the more controlled. First set, 6-3. So Mary Pierce starting off the second set. First set to Steffi Graf. 6-3. The winner to meet Arantxa Sanchez Vicario in the final tomorrow, which you can see again here, of course, on Eurosport. Our transmission time for the final, 1 o'clock in the morning, Central European time, midnight if you're watching back home in the UK.